You ever go to the store and get something, maybe a jacket, feel like it looks good, and you wear it out feeling good, and the next day you can't even believe you bought it, you don't want to put it on? Or maybe it was something online, so you saw the jacket on the mannequin, but then when it arrived, it didn't fit the same way? It's called buyer's remorse. We all have had it at one time or another. But there are reports that Donald Trump and MAGA leaders have it in a big way for Senator Vance. An avalanche of criticism has greeted him now that he is out there, and in contrast to the Dems' big new addition of Kamala Harris, a Republican congressman saying Vance is now, quote, the worst choice they could have made. Harris's campaign is seizing on this, not just attacking Donald Trump, who they need to defeat, but going right after, apparently, this weak spot and tension between the two of them. They used some pretty tough language, saying that, based on the substance and evidence of what J.D. Vance has said about women and child rearing and tax policy, that he thinks should discriminate against people who don't or can't have kids. All of that together, they say, makes him a, quote, creep. One far-right lawmaker has been an outspoken opponent against women's rights and publicly made misogynistic remarks on camera. That's the context for all this. Take a look.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
Vance also, at the time, singled out Kamala Harris, who, of course, was a big star Democrat, but not the nominee. And she has 2 children in her family. They are stepchildren. Now, these comments have drawn all kinds of heat. And here's the thing about right-wing Republican politics. What might seem to work at the convention stage, and we've covered that, or in political interviews, sometimes has a way of completely failing out in the real world, where plenty of people care about, family choices and the freedom and liberty to exercise them without being beat up upon by some potentially arrogant-seeming male politician. So take Jennifer Aniston, who is a lot more popular than J.D. Vance, and discuss how she tried but could not ultimately have kids through her IVF journey. She's slamming J.D. Vance for this attack on what she views as just all women, not, just liberal women. Or actress Connie Britton and singer Pink, we mentioned earlier, engaged with the Harris campaign, are on this 160,000-plus strong women's rally online for Harris, breaking records. They called it White Women for Harris. There's also then calls from different constituency groups. So Black Women for Harris, Black Men for Harris, and several others. And this is not just a feel-good Zoom. It is also a way to have people communicate directly about a whole range of issues from real people, not just from, those of us in the media or those of us in politics. And they've raised millions of dollars. They are fighting for Harris, who is now saying this campaign, now that she's taking it over, is about freedom. And again, we've talked about the connective tissue here. Joe Biden did talk a lot about Roe. In fact, when he talked about how the predictions were wrong about the midterms, he cited how the women's backlash against Trump's right-wing justices overturning Roe. But Harris may be a very different type of messenger and leader on these issues. And she's certainly a contrast to J.D. Vance, whose degrading remarks are backed by all kinds of policy plans.
When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. If you don't have as much of an investment in the future of this country, maybe you shouldn't get nearly the same voice.
If you're making $100,000, $400,000 a year, and you've got 3 kids, you should pay a different, lower tax rate than if you're making the same amount of money and you don't have any kids.
Now, this is something you see on the internet. You see it with podcasters, and I guess you see it with a senator who's now in the line to be one heartbeat from the presidency if he won, which is this kind of political talking style, like, what there ought to be, and also, what would be fair, and they won't do it, they won't let you have it. I hear that on podcasts a lot. That's fine. Everyone has the freedom to talk about what they want. But we're doing the news here, and I'll give you some fact checks. Americans with children, families within our tax code, do get a tax break. They already get it. It's called the child tax credit. Over 40 million people get it. And if you're really interested, a heck of a lot of Democrats and liberals supported it before J.D. Vance claimed it didn't exist, because it is also seen as an equalizer for middle and lower income families. I am joined by Molly Jong-Fast from Vanity Fair. And Molly, I don't mean to be too, fact-checky with Senator Vance. There is. So I invite you to engage either on the policy if you want, which I landed on, or the broader sort of trolling, ignorant misogyny, and whether it is working for the Republican ticket.
Well, I was really surprised when Trump picked Vance because I thought, why would he pick someone who doubles down on misogyny? But more than that, why would he pick someone who ran 20 points behind Mike DeWine in the state of Ohio in his Senate race? I mean, the man really underperformed, even though it's a bright red state. So I was surprised. But I think it was Trump world's overconfidence, and also a lot of tech oligarchs were pushing Vance. And ultimately, they did, they picked Vance. But what Vance offers is this radically different view of what women's rights versus what the Harris ticket offers. And it's so interesting to me because here is a group that has spent all its time saying, right, Trump says, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's not me. That's the Heritage Foundation. J.D. Vance wrote the introduction for the president of the Heritage Foundation's book, which is coming out in the fall, right? I mean, this is like, he's so tied to this. And when you hear him in these interviews, he's always espousing this sort of misogynistic, working women are lesser than women who have children. I mean, this kind of stuff is really from another century. And so I do think it was a real gamble for Trump world to go further into the misogyny. And J.D. Vance is that messenger.
This was Kamala Harris speaking Tuesday. Take a look.
We who believe in reproductive freedom will stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans because we trust women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.
That's clear. It looks like she's on offense. Again, in contrast, we got 100 days. We're going to be covering all of this. Here's how J.D. Vance sounded. He went on with Megyn Kelly, the former Fox host, and did a sort of a dance that he stands by some of it, but take a look.
Obviously, it was a sarcastic comment. I've got nothing against cats. I've got nothing against dogs. I've got one dog at home. The substance of what I said, Megyn, I'm sorry, it's true.
Molly?
Yeah, it's misogyny, right? These women who control the government, who don't have children. It's a knock against ambitious women, right? His idea is that if you are an ambitious woman, you're lesser because you have a career, you focused on your career and not on having children. I've had a lot of children. I don't think that I'm any better than a person who hasn't had a lot of children. And the idea is really this Christian nationalist idea that women are on this planet to produce children.